Hello, buddy. Welcome to the Public Nuisance Podcast. This is actually going to be a different type of podcast, and I'm really excited to do this one because this is, probably the first one that we've done that's actually not a band. And I have my man Dan Lyons here, who is, I guess it's never less than OG. You know what I mean? Just one of the original. The punkers, and he's been to every show that I've been to in the 805, and he's been to a lot of places here, and you're a local legend, bro. And
I don't know about that, but
well, you don't see it that way, but a lot of other people do, and I'm honored to have you on here, and
thanks for inviting me, brother.
Yeah, so go ahead, man, introduce yourself.
Dan Lyon, just raised here in Ventura County, went to Santa Clara High School. That was my connection to the what became the Nardcore community way back when, and just been going to shows for 43 years now or so, something like that. Still jump in the pit, still have fun, and just love it.
Yeah, I always see you, man. You got your camera out and filming the bands, and everybody knows you, man. So it's like, how'd you get to, was it high school you started getting into the scene, or?
Yeah, well, as usually happens, I had a friend that was already into the scene, and one day we're over at his house, and he just started pulling out records, and it was so different from all the crap that we had in the late 70s that I just fell in love with the music, the energy. I think Gresham says the best, intense energy. I mean, I just love that feel, right?
Yeah.
And jumping in the pit was the closest thing that I had to football. I was an offensive lineman in college, and so I loved that part of it too.
Yeah, same for me. I played football, and after football was over, it's like, what can I do that's
do?
physical? And then there was a pit. I was like, so
Right.
I loved that, man. Until last April, I crashed on a bike and I got 3 screws in my hip, so
that's
kind of
not
ended
a
the
good
pit
thing.
for me. So
Right,
these little
right,
blood,
right.
they go, boom, and you're like,
I'm going to be 60 next year, and I think I might finally retire.
Yeah.
From the pit, anyways.
Well, your heart's always in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
But that's awesome, man. It's crazy because, people give this whole punk thing. When I tell people you ever running the punk shows and kind of you have established a place for it here in the 805 again, and they always look like punk. Like, you have no idea that the people that come here, are well-off professionals. You know what I mean? And they leave the shows and they go to their attorney's office or whatever they do for a living, and it's crazy.
And that's kind of funny. You mentioned that I'm actually a wealth advisor.
Right.
And the people here in this community, when I tell them, they're like, "What? You're a wealth advisor?" And then people in my professional community, they find out that I still go to punk shows, and they can't believe that either. So it's kind of and it's always been that way for me. I've always been a guy that was involved in stuff, whether in the community or even in high school. Always been involved, but then also had this other side where I was into punk rock.
Yeah. So so you played football. Where'd you go to school at?
Just a small school. No one's ever heard of it. New Mexico Highlands University, and believe me, there was no punk out there. They put me on the radio station, the college radio station. I lasted a week because no one wanted to listen to punk rock. I had all my albums. I'm playing my albums, and
at least you stuck to your guns. You know what I mean? And played the music you liked.
Right.
But yeah, man, it was. It's kind of, no matter what kind of school you go to, when you go to the next level out of high school and you play ball, it's a great feeling, to play at that level. And a lot of guys I played with, come on would be pro, and you just get the feel for, because playing in high school is one thing, and then you go to the college, it's like, wow, okay, now these guys are really good. They're like the best of the best from their high schools. And you're not playing. In high school, there's only a couple guys you can just pick on and take advantage of.
Right.
Not at the next level. They're all good. They're all good. So
for sure,
it was a whole different level. But I enjoyed that, man. And so through the years, man, I'm sure you've seen them all. But who's some of the standout bands that you still have a lot of?
Well, I mean, if I go old school to my favorite bands when I was growing up, and my favorite band wound up being X out of L.A., and I mean, that's the first show I went to. I was 15. Somehow my parents let me go down to the Roxy in Hollywood, and actually they probably didn't let me go down. I probably told them I was spending the night at my friend's house. I honestly don't remember, but the Blasters were opening for X at the Roxy, and it was April of 1980. They had just released the album Los Angeles on April 20th, and I was at that show that following weekend.
Oh,
and
cool.
that was it for me. And then my other favorite bands from the beginning were Stiff Little Fingers, Clash, The Jam, and oh my gosh, this happens as you get older. The Plugs, which is a band that most people have never heard of, but just love them. A Mexican punk band out of East LA, and just was very cool.
Yeah, because you're coming back from Maryland, after 30 years, and not really knowing, I've always heard of like the Nardcore and stuff, but now to be a part of it, and week in and week out, man, we have shows here, and there's some incredible talent here. There's some
awesome
incredible talent, and it just it blows me away, because back in DC there's some talent, but it's kind of hit or miss, but. We have 4 bands a weekend here, and usually, 3 out of 4 of them are gnarly. And they're just straight, getting after it.
It's so exciting. I got back into the scene about 5 years ago. You grow up, go off to college, get married, have kids, busy raising the kids, and I didn't go to many shows. I'd go to the bigger shows as they'd show up, and I'd go to shows down in LA on occasion. But about 5 years ago, my youngest son, who was probably 24 at the time, had been going to the Garage Bar in Ventura, and he says, "Pops, there's a bunch of old Nardcore dudes hanging out down here at the Garage. They're doing punk rock shows there. They don't anymore, by the way. That's why we're all over here, and I love this venue." So I went down there to check it out, and there were guys that I knew from way back when. A lot of the old Nardcore guys like Tony Cortez and some of the other guys. So just started going to shows again and got into it. And then I think a lot of people know me for my Instagram page, which is Punk and Alternative. And all these shows that I go to now, I get at least a couple videos of every band and go ahead and post them. So really cool, kind of an aside, a guy was here from Michigan that grew up here, and he was home because his dad, unfortunately, Pat, was dying and actually died on Tuesday night. But he didn't know me, but when his brother started telling him about the videos that I post, he pulls out his Instagram. He was already following me. And following me from Michigan, and he just really appreciated being able to reconnect with what's happening back home and the whole scene. So that's why I do. That's why I continue to do it. Is because people reach out to me from all over the country that that grew up here and love having that connection to a Nardcore.
Yeah, because we have we got a great media team, and they've really helped us out as far as doing the podcast, and they do all the bands that play go live on Facebook and Instagram,
right?
And so we get feedback from people in Texas and
Yeah.
random people that here they watch these videos and they can see their bands play live, and not a lot of places doing that. So it's really been cool, the feedback we're getting, and
it's awesome.
I just love the crowd. I love the scene, and it's kind of like a dream come true for me. I never thought that I'd be in a situation to be able to have cool shows and stuff like that. I just started playing music just to piss off the government, during COVID, and now it's led to this, and I couldn't be happier. And it's such
awesome.
it's a good family, a good group of people, man, and everybody just respects this place, and I respect everybody, for what they do. It's fantastic, man.
It's cool. Nardcore is definitely a family. My first Nardcore show was actually the very first Nardcore show. It was at the Port Hueneme Community Center in November of 1981, and I had already been listening to punk rock for a couple of years previous. I mean, Nardcore really wasn't even a thing yet. We didn't know that it was going to become a scene, And but at that first show, it was just awesome. You know, False Confession and Ill Repute and Circle One and Dr. No. I went to school with a couple of the guys from Dr. No. So you know, it's just awesome to have been there at the beginning and still be here today.
Yeah, awesome, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you taking the time out of you know, the show, coming in and
Yeah,
talking with
absolutely.
me, man. And I always love when I see you at the shows, man.
I
always
appreciate
love it.
that,
Yeah,
brother.
man.
Appreciate it.
You know, I don't feel like the old timer in here. You know what I mean?
Oh my
So,
gosh, tonight I'm just waiting for DI to come on so I can jump in that pit.
Yeah.
So,
how about
that's
last
gonna
week in Annihilation, man?
I wish I had been here.
Oh,
for
you
that.
missed that. It was insane.
Well, see,
insane. in
when I
here.
started going to shows again, I started going to 2 to 3 shows a week.
Yeah.
And my wife was okay with that at first, but because she knows I go through these phases.
Yeah.
And but now she's got me on a pitch count. I can only go to 1 show a week. So
Oh, yeah.
so last week I went to Fear.
Yeah.
Just because I figure, well, it's last time leaving. We'll be here. So you know, that was a choice I had to make.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
tonight I'm here instead of going to the Necromantics tomorrow night, but because this is a killer show also.
Hey, you know, thank you for coming in, and you know, guys watching this, you know, come in, man, say hello to Dan, who's a hell of a guy, stand-up dude, and a legend, obviously, you know, in the community. So, hey, man, thank you, brother.
Thank
Appreciate you.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yep. All right,
Appreciate
guys,
it.
have a good night. Talk to you soon.
Peace out.